Close your eyes for a moment and picture your favorite place in nature. Maybe it's a mountain trail with a breathtaking view, a quiet lake where your family has gone fishing for generations, or a vast desert where the stars shine brighter than any city light. Now imagine showing up one day only to find a fence, a no trespassing sign, and construction equipment tearing through the landscape. You ask what happened and the answer stinks. It was sold. It's not public land anymore. Sounds like fiction. Unfortunately, it's not. Right now, in states across the country, public land is being auctioned off, leased, or handed to private corporations. Forests, grasslands, deserts, even sacred native sites, all sold in the name of profit, often without our knowledge or consent. The government should not be able to sell public land, and today I'm going to tell you why. That's not just a policy debate, it's a direct threat to our environment, our heritage, and our freedom. Let's start with the basics. The United States owns over 600 million acres of public land. That's about 1/3 of the country. These lands belong to all of us. They're managed by agencies like the National Park Service and Bureau of Land Management, not for profit but for public good. But the system is under attack. Loss of public access. When the land is sold to private developers, it ceases to be ours. No more hiking, no more fishing, no more camping. It becomes gated, restricted, and regulated by whoever writes the biggest check, not by public interest. For example, in Utah, the state proposed transferring control of public lands to private developers, including areas near national parks. In some cases, long-time public areas were suddenly fenced off, and local families found themselves shut out of places they visited for generations. Environmental destruction. Public lands protect fragile ecosystems, old growth forests, endangered species habitats, clean rivers, but when these lands are sold, they're often used for oil drilling, mining, deforestation, or commercial development. Private companies aren't required to uphold the same environmental standards. Once the land is theirs, they can strip it bare, pollute waterways, and pave it over. And we pay the price in lost biodiversity, climate change, and irreversible destruction of the natural landscapes. Disrespect for native sovereignty. Many public lands are ancestral territories of native tribes. Selling this land without tribal consultation not only erases culture, it violates treaties and perpetuates a long history of land theft. One example, Bears Ears National Monument in Utah, a sacred site for several Native American tribes, saw its protected status reduced by 85% in 2017 to allow for mining leases. Though the decision was later reversed, it showed how easily the government can ignore native voices when profit is on the line. Permanent loss. Once the land is sold, it's nearly impossible to get back. These aren't short-term leases, these are permanent transfers of ownership. We can't undo the sale of a mountain range or a protected wetland. Once it's gone forever. So what can we do? Here's what I propose. The federal government must be legally prohibited from selling public land to private interests for profit. Here's how we do it. Strengthen federal protection. Congress can pass legislation that ban the sale of public lands without rigorous environmental review, tribal consultation, and direct public involvement like a national referendum. Laws like the Land and Water Conservation Fund already exist to protect public land. We must expand and enforce them. Invest in land management. Agencies like the National Park Service are underfunded. This creates pressure to lease or sell land to cover costs. Instead of cutting budgets, we should increase funding for maintenance and conservation, ensuring these lands are properly managed and preserved. Empower local and tribal stewardship. Let's put more decision-making power into the hands of local communities and tribal governments who have a deep cultural and environmental connection to the land. Partnerships like the co-management of barriers between federal agencies and native tribes are a model we can replicate. Let's look into the future, both possible versions. If we do nothing, national parks become corporate resorts, pristine forests are replaced by pipelines, wildlife refuges vanish under housing developments. Future generations won't know what it means to camp under the stars or explore untouched wilderness because it simply won't exist. And we, the people, will have lost control of what was once ours, not through invasion or disaster, but by silent transactions. But if we act, imagine families still exploring the Grand Canyon 100 years from now. Imagine native tribes protecting sacred sites for the next generation. Imagine restored wetlands, clean rivers, and thriving ecosystems, all accessible, all protected, all yours. This is not a dream. This is what happens when we choose people over profit, preservation over exploitation. You may wonder, what can I do? I'm just one person, but that's exactly how changes begin. With one voice that becomes many. Here's what you can do starting today. Call or email your senator and members of Congress. Demand that they support legislations to protect public land and oppose any effort to privatize them. Groups like the Wilderness Society, Sierra Club, and Native American Rights Funds are leading the fight. Donate, volunteer, or simply amplify their messages. Use your voice on social media and class discussions in your community. The more people who understand the threat, the more pressure we can apply. Elect leaders who prioritize public land preservation, tribal sovereignty, and environmental protection. Your vote is your voice. Use it to speak for the land that cannot speak for itself. In the words of Woody Guthrie, this land is your land, this land is my land. Those words are not just lyrics, they're a promise. A promise that every mountain, every forest, every open plain belongs not to politicians, not to CEOs, but to the people. Let's keep that promise alive. Let's fight to keep our public lands public for us, for our children, and for every generation yet to come. Thank you.